Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. One of the most fascinating progressions in astrology is the progressed Venus. While it may not always create dramatic external events, progressed Venus often reflects major shifts in relationships, values, attraction, creativity, pleasure, and emotional fulfillment throughout life. Many people experience these changes without realizing astrology may be describing the deeper evolution happening underneath the surface. Have you ever gone through a period where your priorities in love, relationships, creativity, beauty, or personal values suddenly changed? Maybe you became more focused on emotional connection, financial security, independence, romance, artistic expression, or deeper intimacy. The progressed Venus helps explain why different chapters of life can feel so different in terms of what and who you are drawn toward emotionally and socially. Unlike transits, which often describe temporary outside events, progressed Venus reflects the gradual evolution of your heart, your desires, and your relationship patterns over time. It often describes what you value most during a certain phase of life and the kinds of experiences that are helping you grow emotionally, socially, creatively, and relationally. Because Venus is connected to love, attraction, relationships, harmony, beauty, pleasure, creativity, money, and self-worth, these changes can feel very personal. The progressed Venus often reflects shifting emotional priorities, changing relationship dynamics, evolving tastes, and the kinds of connections that feel meaningful during different stages of life. As we've said in the previous Progressed Planets videos about learning how to track progressed planets over time, you generate a progressed chart on a website like astro.com or AstroSeek. In a bi-wheel chart, your natal chart appears on the inner wheel, while the progressed chart appears on the outer wheel. To track any progressed planet, simply locate that planet's symbol on the outer wheel and identify the sign and house it is currently moving through. The sign describes how that planet's energy is evolving internally, while the house shows where those changes are unfolding in your life experience. As progressed planets move through different signs and houses throughout life, they describe changing phases of emotional growth, mindset, relationships, motivation, identity development, and personal priorities. Some progressed planets move relatively quickly, while others may remain in the same sign for many years, creating longer developmental chapters. Many astrologers pay close attention to progressed planets' changing signs or houses because these transitions often mark the beginning of an entirely new phase of inner growth and life focus. In this bi-wheel chart, the progressed chart is shown on the outer wheel in green. To locate the progressed Venus, look for the Venus symbol on the outer wheel. In this example, progressed Venus is moving through Scorpio and is positioned in the first house area of the chart. This suggests a phase of development focused on emotional intensity, deeper self-understanding, personal transformation, and magnetism. Relationships and emotional connections may feel much deeper, more consuming, or more psychologically significant during this period. Because this progressed Venus is connected to the first house area, the focus may shift toward personal identity, self-expression, appearance, confidence, and the way someone presents themselves to the world. This can describe a period where someone becomes more emotionally self-aware, intense socially, or more focused on redefining their personal values, attractiveness, or relationship patterns. This is one reason life can feel so different from one period to another. Even though your natal chart stays the same, progressed Venus keeps moving, gradually shifting your relationship priorities, emotional desires, values, and social focus over time. If someone is born with Venus in Aries, the progressed Venus does not stay there forever. Because progressed Venus slowly moves through the zodiac throughout life, It will eventually move into Taurus, then Gemini, then Cancer, and continue through the signs over time. These changes usually happen gradually and often describe long-term shifts in attraction, relationship needs, values, creativity, and emotional fulfillment. This creates relationship and value cycles throughout life. Even though your natal Venus never changes, progressed Venus keeps evolving, describing changing emotional desires, relationship patterns, social priorities, and creative development over time. A person may be born with a bold and impulsive Venus in Aries, but later move into a more stable and security-oriented Taurus progressed Venus phase, followed later by a more curious or social Gemini phase. The natal Venus remains the foundation of your relationship style and personal values, while the progressed Venus reflects the current chapter of emotional and relational growth you are experiencing. As progressed Venus changes signs, your relationship patterns, emotional desires, values, and social style begin changing with it. Each sign creates a different relational and emotional atmosphere. Let's go through each of the 12 signs. A progressed Venus in Aries may create a stronger desire for independence, excitement, passion, and direct emotional expression. Relationships may feel faster moving, more spontaneous, or more action-oriented during this phase. A progressed Venus in Taurus may bring greater focus on stability, loyalty, comfort, sensuality, and long-term security. This phase often feels steadier, more grounded, and more focused on emotional consistency and physical comfort. A progressed Venus in Gemini may increase the need for communication, variety, curiosity, and intellectual stimulation in relationships. Social interaction and mental connection may feel especially important during this period. A progressed Venus in Cancer may bring stronger emotional sensitivity, nurturing instincts, family focus, and desire for emotional security. Relationships may feel more emotionally driven and protective during this phase. A progressed Venus in Leo may increase the desire for romance, creativity, passion, recognition, and expressive love. This phase may feel more dramatic, playful, affectionate, and emotionally warm. A progressed Venus in Virgo may shift attention toward practicality, improvement, service, health, and reliability within relationships. Emotional expression may become more thoughtful, reserved, or detail-oriented. A progressed Venus in Libra may place greater emphasis on harmony, balance, partnership, beauty, diplomacy, and emotional reciprocity. Relationships often become a major area of growth during this phase. A progressed Venus in Scorpio may bring emotional intensity, deeper intimacy, transformation, passion, and powerful emotional bonds. This period often feels psychologically deep and emotionally consuming. A progressed Venus in Sagittarius may create a stronger desire for freedom, adventure, exploration, learning, or relationships that expand your worldview. Emotionally, there is often a need for growth and excitement. A progressed Venus in Capricorn may shift focus toward commitment, maturity, long-term stability, responsibility, and building something lasting in relationships and finances. A progressed Venus in Aquarius may increase the desire for independence, individuality, unconventional relationships, friendship-based connection, and emotional freedom. Social awareness and authenticity may become more important during this phase. A progressed Venus in Pisces may bring greater emotional sensitivity, compassion, imagination, spirituality, romance, and idealism. This phase may feel softer, more emotional, more artistic, or more spiritually connected. The sign of progressed Venus helps describe the emotional and relational tone of the chapter you are currently living through and the kinds of relationship experiences shaping your growth during that period. The house placement of progressed Venus shows where your emotional desires, relationship focus, creativity, and values are being directed in life. For example, progressed Venus moving through the 4th house may create stronger focus on home, family, emotional security, comfort, or private relationships. This often feels like a more emotionally nurturing and inward-focused period. Progressed Venus moving through the 10th house may shift attention toward public image, career relationships, reputation, networking, or professional visibility. Relationships and social connections may become more connected to ambition or long-term goals during this phase. Progressed Venus through the 7th house may strongly emphasize partnership and emotional connection, while the 12th house may feel quieter, more reflective, more spiritual, or emotionally private. This is one reason different phases of life can feel dramatically different emotionally and relationally. Some progressed Venus placements draw your energy outward towards social connection and visibility, while others pull your attention inward toward healing, emotional reflection, or deeper self-worth development. Progressed Venus is deeply connected to emotional, relational, and creative development. It reflects how life experiences gradually shape your relationship patterns, emotional desires, values, creativity, and sense of fulfillment over time. As progressed Venus moves through different signs and houses, you begin developing emotional and relational qualities that may not have been as strong earlier in life. Certain periods teach independence. Others teach vulnerability, patience, commitment, boundaries, emotional balance, or self-worth. Progressed Venus doesn't usually create dramatic events by itself. Instead, it changes what feels emotionally fulfilling, socially attractive, creatively inspiring, and personally meaningful to you internally. And because it moves steadily through the chart, it creates a kind of relational and emotional timeline, showing the different chapters of growth, connection, values, and fulfillment you move throughout your life. Progressed Venus reminds us that relationships, desires, values, and emotional fulfillment are not static. They naturally evolve over time, and each phase of life brings different lessons, attractions, priorities, and emotional experiences. In the next video, we'll continue exploring progressions by looking at progressed Mars and how it reflects evolving drive, motivation, ambition, and personal action throughout life. Thank you for watching Celestial Zodiac. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss the next part of this series.